Hello drama lovers, welcome back to my channel. Breaking news. What if everything we thought about Zhao Jinmai and Song Weilong was only half the truth after months of whispers, stolen glances, and viral moments that shook the C-drama world? The two stars have finally broken their silence, and what they revealed is more emotional, more complicated, and more real than anyone expected. It started the way all unforgettable stories do, quietly, almost invisibly. No official announcement, no dramatic confession. Just moments. Small, fleeting, but powerful enough to send fans into a frenzy. Zhao Jinmai, known for her pure, heartfelt performances and that soft, almost nostalgic aura, had always been seen as someone deeply focused on her craft. And Song Weilong, charismatic, composed, with a presence that feels both distant and magnetic, was the kind of star people admire from afar but rarely feel they truly know. But somewhere between shared schedules, behind-the-scenes laughter, and subtle interactions that fans began to piece together like a puzzle, something shifted. Clips started surfacing online. A glance that lingered just a second too long. A smile that didn't feel scripted. The kind of chemistry you can't fake, no matter how experienced you are as an actor. Fans, especially on platforms like Weibo and TikTok, began connecting the dots. Edits went viral. Hashtags exploded. Zhao Jinmai Song Weilong quickly became one of the most talked about pairings in the C-drama world, even without a confirmed project tying them together romantically. But here's where things got complicated. Because while the internet thrives on speculation, both Zhao Jinmai and Song Weilong remained silent. No denials. No confirmations. Just distance. And that silence, it only made everything louder. Every public appearance became a moment to analyze. Every interview, every micro-expression, fans searched for answers in places where there might have been none, or perhaps where the truth was carefully hidden. And yet, despite all the noise, there was something undeniably genuine in the way their names kept finding each other. Which brings us to the moment that changed everything. Because when they finally decided to speak, it wasn't just a statement. It was a revelation. And what they said next reshaped the entire narrative. The announcement didn't come with dramatic music or a perfectly staged press conference. Instead, it arrived quietly, almost unexpectedly, through a joint message that felt more personal than promotional. Zhao Jinmai spoke first. Her words were calm, but there was a vulnerability underneath them that fans immediately picked up on. She didn't try to control the narrative. She didn't avoid the rumors. Instead, she acknowledged them honestly. She admitted that yes, she and Song Weilong had grown close. But not in the way the internet had imagined. It's not a simple story, she said. And that one sentence changed everything, because what followed wasn't a fairy tale confession. It was something far more human. She described long conversations about life, pressure, and the weight of expectations that come with being in the spotlight. She talked about how, in an industry where everything is fast and often superficial, finding someone who understands you without needing explanations feels rare. Song Weilong, in his own statement, echoed that sentiment. He didn't label their relationship. He didn't put it into a box that fans could easily define. Instead, he described Zhao Jinmai as someone who brought him peace in the middle of chaos. And suddenly, the narrative shifted. This wasn't just about dating rumors anymore. It was about connection. Real, complicated, undefined connection. But not everyone was satisfied. Fans wanted clarity. They wanted a yes or no, a label, a confirmation that could turn speculation into certainty. Instead, what they got was something much more ambiguous and perhaps much more honest. Because in a world obsessed with defining relationships, Zhao Jinmai and Song Weilong chose not to. And that decision sparked a new wave of reactions. Some fans felt moved, even protective of their privacy. Others felt frustrated, craving a clearer answer. But regardless of where people stood, one thing was undeniable. Their story had become something deeper than a rumor. It had become a reflection of how real emotions don't always fit into neat categories. And just when it seemed like the conversation might settle, they revealed one more truth. A truth that added another layer to everything we thought we knew. In a follow-up interview that quickly went viral across global fandom spaces, Song Weilong was asked a question that fans had been holding onto for months. Do you see a future together? For a moment, he paused. Not the kind of pause you give when you're avoiding an answer, but the kind that comes when you're searching for the most honest one. And then he said it. We're still figuring it out. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't definitive. But it was real. Zhao Jinmai later added something that stayed with fans long after the interview ended. She said that sometimes, the most meaningful relationships are the ones that don't come with pressure, where two people can grow, support each other, and simply exist without the expectations of the outside world shaping every step. And in that moment, something shifted in the fandom. Because instead of seeing them as a couple or not a couple, people began to see them as two individuals navigating something deeply personal, in front of millions of watching eyes. Clips from the interview spread like wildfire. Comments poured in not just from fans, but from casual viewers who found themselves unexpectedly moved by the honesty of it all. In an industry often filled with carefully crafted images and controlled narratives, Zhao Jinmai and Song Weilong had done something rare. They chose authenticity, even if it meant leaving questions unanswered. Even if it meant disappointing those who wanted a perfect story. Because sometimes, the truth isn't perfect. Sometimes, it's messy, unclear, still in progress. And maybe that's what makes it so powerful. At the end of the day, what Zhao Jinmai and Song Weilong gave the world wasn't a confirmation or a denial. It was something much more vulnerable. They showed us that behind the glamour, behind the viral edits and trending hashtags, there are real people trying to understand their own feelings just like anyone else. And maybe that's why their story resonates so deeply. Because it reminds us that not every connection needs a label to be meaningful. Not every relationship needs to follow a script to be real. Sometimes, the most beautiful stories are the ones still being written. And as fans, maybe the most powerful thing we can do is let them write it on their own terms. So what do you think? Are Zhao Jinmai and Song Weilong redefining what love looks like in the spotlight? Or are they leaving too many questions unanswered? Share your thoughts below. And if you felt this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional deep dives into the world of K-drama and global celebrity stories.